What's going on, everybody? Kelly Cavallari here, one half of Seven Arrow Media, and welcome to the special show today at 2, why your music is getting blocked in your videos and live streams. For those who don't know me, I've been live streaming dance events for about 6+ years with my girlfriend Kelly, and we pretty much know all the tips and tricks on why it happens. And I'm here to share that totally free, totally give you the knowledge. That way you can choose to use it or choose not to use it. We're going to talk about the different licensing you might need and might not need for what you're doing, as well as where the licensing will work for you, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or your own website. So the first thing is, number one, if you think you have the right license, you more than likely don't. For all my instructors and DJs out there, and event directors as well, the licensing you get to hold for your event, class, your wedding, does not cover videos. It literally is for the location you're in. So if you contacted BMI, CSAC, ASCAP, which are the three main providers here in the United States, especially, and asked them, hey, I'm a DJ, I want to play for when I go to my gigs, they're going to give you a license for that location. That's why they usually ask for a number. Same thing with event directors. Normally, y'all call up and you want to get one for your event. There is a couple organizations out there. National Fast Dance Association happens to be one right off the top. That does a blanket coverage where they incorporate all three of them for you. But again, one of the main questions is how many people you are playing for. So it only covers the location. The minute you go to record it, go live, you're broadcasting it to way more people than you're actually paying for. So we're going to definitely talk about why that is. So if for some reason I'm not answering your questions, add them to the chat. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So feel free to comment any questions you might have. I'll do my best to answer them. The first thing is, DJs, instructors out there, if you don't have a music license, you probably are going to want to look into getting one. Most locations require one. For the instructors of the dance events, the event should have one for you to be covered. But you definitely need to have one. Most locations don't have a music license that will cover you for your classes. This goes along with fitness classes as well, like at gyms. Most gyms like LA Fitness and stuff have licensings to have music played in their gym for that use. So in that aspect, you are covered. But smaller gyms, if you just go and teach at a mom and pop, might not have that. They might not have aerobics classes, and they might not have a license that will allow music to be played in there. So you might want to look into that. The second thing is DJs. Most venues that you perform weddings at and stuff are covered. They have the licensing to have it. Double check with them. I have yet to run into a venue that has required me to make sure I have a music license, because they have a license to cover having music played there. I did talk to a couple of my DJ friends who do a lot of weddings, and they said the same thing. We all agreed on most of the stuff they ask for is about insurance, whether or not you have liability coverage in case equipment breaks down, stuff like that. But a lot of the wedding venues are actually covered. Same thing with bars; they are allowed to play music in there. You see some bars, like the Barn in Sanford, probably have a license to record, only because they are known for bringing in big artists like Garth Brooks, Blake Shelton, and of course they're going to want to have video proof that they did that. So the next step is you post your video on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and you wonder, oh, all of a sudden they get blocked. The licensing that you have for your location does not cover you to broadcast that video out. It doesn't allow you to put it up because now you are playing it to more people than you actually paid for your license. So what you actually need is a different license on that. It's called a broadcasting, or some call it a synchronization license. I've talked to BMI, CSAC, and ASCAP all separately. I've contacted copyright attorneys, and they all said the same thing. Yes, that is the type of license you need for broadcasting video. And Kristen Shaw just asked me a question. I'm going to read it real quick. I had specifically asked National Fast Dance Association if the membership covered videos, and they said yes. I would love clarification from them again. Yes, it covers for you to record it, but it doesn't allow you to broadcast it. I asked them the exact same thing. It does cover you to be allowed to videotape it for you to give out and for you to use for personal use. The broadcasting it is where it comes into play, and that's where BMI and CSAC and ASCAP have all been in agreement that yes, the other license, you can record it. It's the minute you actually put it out for the public to see is where they have the issue. Because the other ones are done by viewing hours. And a viewing hour is how many people are watching it, for those who don't know. Like if you see on YouTube, 18,000 people have seen your video. The person who owns that video can see how long that people have actually watched it, and that's what they're billed for. A BMI was roughly, when last I talked to him about 2 or 3 months ago, was about anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500 for the first 6 months. And then which is the initial, and then that second 6 months is based on how many people watched you the first 6 months. So you could have really good 6 months of time, and all of a sudden you're going to be paying $6, $7, $8, up towards of $10,000 to $12,000 for a 6-month license because you had millions and millions of viewers. Or it could go down to where you're only paying the 2 to 3. The catch is you actually have to do that for all 3 companies: BMI, CSAC, and ASCAP. They all cover different artists. They all cover different music. No one covers all of it. I learned that from talking to all 3, as well as a copyright attorney. But also, even if you buy the license, YouTube is YouTube, Facebook is Facebook, they don't have to allow you to play it. They can shut you down for anything at any time. Just because you have a license, their algorithm is searching for the songs. They're searching for the beats, the lyrics to block. They're not searching for a license number on your video. They're literally listening to the sound. Darren Fields just asked, what if we use Facebook Live to broadcast our class but take down the videos after the live event is over? That's a good point. A lot of them aren't getting blocked while it's actually live, but some have been. You still do risk it getting blocked. That's just how it is. They can block it while it's live. I've had friends this past week that have gone live, and during the music portion, cut, boom, done, see ya. Even with it slowed down. I've also had videos that I've seen where it's lasted for the entire 1 hour class through the music, and then it doesn't get blocked until it gets published afterwards for people to watch over and over and over again. I've also seen it where it doesn't get blocked. It's kind of like a game of roulette. You might hit, you might not. You might get blocked, you might not. The difference is you're not going to get fined. Facebook's just going to take it down. They will give you so many copyright strikes, at least YouTube does. Or if you get that for so many times, they will block your channel. And that's just to do it to protect them, not necessarily protect the artist. It's to protect them because YouTube has a licensing to be allowed to play it. Facebook has a license to be allowed to play it. But they can take down whatever they want. They don't have to allow you to put a video up. Ruth just asked, I tried last night and it blocked it live. Yep, scrubbed it while I was doing it and I could still be seen and heard. That's correct. I had a friend the other night that they blocked it halfway through the class. They rebroadcasted it. They put it up about 35 minutes in and it did. Paul James, genuine question. If you were to alter the sound, like speed it up or add a sick beat to the music you use, that is possible. I've seen people who have slowed it down or not necessarily speed it up because I don't know how well that works with the line dancing especially. Slowing it down, it works sometimes, but there are some artists out there that they have pretty much mastered what the basic sound is. Like, don't ever try to pretty much put up anything with Adele. Adele is pretty... They knock it down really quick. That's a lot for mainly Sony artists, I've noticed over the years. They have definitely blocked Sony artists quicker. Jan Davey, does it screw up the algorithm if you talk through the music that's being played? Not every time. Some algorithms out there have done really good at recognizing it through it. Jim, I'm not asking who the better Riddler is. That's a different conversation. You could slow it down, speed it up. You can try all those little tricks. There's never going to be a guarantee for Facebook and YouTube until they have a way to recognize whether or not you have a license, or you get big enough to where you're going to turn around and have like ESPN and all these major companies that have contracts with them. Of course, they're going to allow ESPN to put up whatever they want. ESPN pays them a lot of money in advertising and to broadcast videos. That's totally different. Jesse Chan, what is different than broadcasting YouTube public or unlisted? I mean, to block the live feed. Public means anybody can find it, which that's where you get your views. Unlisted means all you can do is, the only people that can find an unlisted YouTube video is if you send them the link. You can search and search and search for an unlisted video. Once you send the link out, that's how people find you. I use unlisted a lot of times to test my new live feed stuff. When I'm wanting to test the connection and stuff like that, I'll go live on YouTube, do it as unlisted. That way only I can see it, or whoever I send the link to see if we're testing it properly can see it. That way no one can find it. I don't know anybody who would want to have an unlisted video on YouTube, because the more your video on YouTube gets played, the more popular you get. The more popular you get, the easier stuff becomes. A buddy of mine who's a DJ out in California, Rick Dominguez, just went through it where he had to hit the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, because about 6 to 8 months ago, YouTube changed where you can no longer go live on a mobile device on YouTube Live unless you have 1,000 subscribers. I remember when this happened to me, I was literally right under 1,000. Luckily, it only took me about a day to get to the 1,000 before I can go back to going live from a mobile device if I needed to. But in this day and age right now, especially with this pandemic going on, going live from your phone or your iPad is essential. So I'm really glad a bunch of us banded together and got Rick to his 1,000. That way he could continue to go live from Oil Can Harry's out in Cali. But the more you have subscribers and followers and likes, the more easier it becomes. The one big thing on YouTube, the reason I switched going live for dance events from Facebook to YouTube was two major things. One, Facebook made it almost impossible for me to go live. I used to get 400,000 or 500,000 people would watch our videos at dance events and never get blocked, never have a problem. We'd hit our 4-hour limit, restart it. Never had an issue. Before Facebook thing, we used Ustream. Ustream was the same way. Ustream, we would do the free 30-day trial. We'd get 10,000 viewing hours. Luckily, back then, we only did about an event a month, so it made it through. No problems. As Facebook got more popular, everyone started using Facebook to go live. Their algorithms crunched down, and it would get to a point where I was only live for about 20 minutes at an event, and Facebook would take it down. Down and down and down. With YouTube, for the most part, while I'm live, they don't give me issues. About 2.5 hours. I've lasted 3 to 4. It all depends on the music being played, stuff like that. But with YouTube, the minute you go to put it back up, they do allow you to let it play with ads running, which with ads running, YouTube is still making money. So they don't care what you play. They might block it in some countries, and that's per country. Just had a question come in. Let us home see what's going on at the events. Yes, thank you so much, Carol. I do try to promote as much as we can of the events as possible. A perfect example with YouTube, like I was saying, is last year at World Dance Masters, it would not allow me to go live from YouTube for the whole weekend. I actually had to go back to going live from Facebook, and that's because of the IP address code, is what I was assuming. When I put it up live on YouTube, it blocked part of the competition that I broadcasted in France, and France only. So everyone was allowed to see it, but people in France. So you hit that chance of, there's still going to be some countries that are going to block music, even with you on YouTube or Facebook. The licensing isn't going to matter on that. You can get a license. YouTube is still YouTube. Facebook is still Facebook. They're going to block it. Now, where this does come in with the licensing is if you have your own website. So if you have your own website and decide to put videos up on there, they can't touch you then. They can let it play. Question from Ruth, if we're not making money from the lessons, is there a way to get by without paying thousands of dollars for a broadcast license? Unfortunately, no. Because that they don't know that, and they don't care. You're still using their music. And that's where it comes down to, regardless of you're making money off of it, you could be making zero money, you could be making $1. You're still broadcasting their music to people out there. And that's where it comes into play. So it doesn't matter if and it is free. Jesse Chan, is public YouTube easier than get blocked by unlisted? I really haven't played with the unlisted, Jesse. But again, do you really want to go through having an unlisted video? No one's going to see it. And I don't see the point of having it unless you're going to turn around and send a link to every person out there that wants to watch this video. And then it just becomes another step process. Could it be beneficial for not wanting to see it? But just because it's unlisted, it's still up on YouTube. YouTube can still block it. Every video that goes up, whether it's private, unlisted, or public, YouTube still runs their algorithms on it. It's just not public for everyone to see it. That's what that is. The YouTube, the public, the unlisted, and the private is just for who you want to be able to see it. YouTube gets to still see everything. So their algorithms are still going to run on it. They're still going to be able to decide whether or not music is appropriate or unappropriate, whether or not you have the right to do it. I've been posting a lot of throwback at noon stuff on YouTube, and none of it's getting blocked. Granted, I do have my channel monetized, and I do that for only the one reason and one reason only, is to let YouTube run ads. It's not for me to make the money on it. You literally make pennies on the thousands of views. I think it's made $20, $25 over 2 years. I've had it monetized for a year almost now, and it really doesn't do anything. But it doesn't get you blocked. So that's the big key. It lets you. They keep it up there and they let it have ads. Paul James, yeah, I get the same with videos of my dances, etc., and they get blocked in the Asian countries, sometimes on YouTube. I have noticed that, especially out of the Asian countries, and found it when me and Stacy sharing our more fun videos on Facebook too. Yeah, that is for sure. But when they're shared as posts, I have been lucky doing the live fitness on Facebook and having music blocked during the live. Yeah, it's been hit or miss. A lot has to do with tempos, and whether or not they can recognize the music. A lot of your fitness videos, this is the same with Zumba. They're different mixes. They're mixes that a lot of people, they really can't recognize the beat. So the algorithm is having more and more trouble. I have noticed, at least in the States, that Zumba doesn't want their Zumba instructors doing it publicly on Facebook or YouTube, and I think that might be partially the reason. That way, they get to keep it to themselves. So you recommend monetizing your YouTube channels just to help keep our content from getting blocked? It is definitely one way. It's not a guarantee. I still do have a couple videos that get blocked partially. It is a way. The monetization process is not easy or quick, though. I do believe you have to have, I think it's 50 or 60,000 viewing hours, as well as 1,000 subscribers, before you're able to monetize your channel. And then for every so many thousand subscribers you get after that, it hits other milestones. Like your next milestone, I believe, after 1,000 is when you hit 10,000 subscribers. To be able to release more videos. That's why you see all the people with millions and millions of followers on YouTube and subscribers. They have all those ad deals and stuff like that. They're not necessarily making a ton of money off of it, but their stuff's not getting blocked. So they get, where they make their money is that people are still going to their websites and they're still getting to see their product. Dude Perfect is probably one of the examples. They have millions among millions of followers on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I believe they actually have more followers on YouTube than the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball do combined. And they do it mainly to get people to go to their websites. They want people to go to their websites. That's all they want. They put up it, they get the views. The views are fun, but then people want to see them live. They want to buy their products and stuff like that. That's not for anything. I believe today they just hit 6 million followers on TikTok, which I've not gotten into TikTok with the music and what they allow on that. That's a totally different app and beast. I don't even know where to start on that if you're a TikToker. So I know they have tons of music up there. But monetizing would make it beneficial if you can get to that point. It's not an easy task, but again, you can still get blocked. It could block in, you could be in the United States and it could block it in France, it could block it in Europe, it can block it in any country. So you still risk the run because it is their own website. YouTube has the right to block whatever they want, just like Facebook does. The only place you are going to be safe is putting it on your own website, and even then you run into could be paying thousands of dollars a year for music license, but then also thousands of dollars a year for space to store your videos. So it's a catch-22 to have it on your own website. I know a lot of people put on their website where it links the YouTube link. So as long as it's up on YouTube, fine. You put the YouTube link up, so YouTube's getting the recognition on the website. You're sending people from your website to YouTube. So it's a win-win for both. You don't have to pay for the music licensing. YouTube has it covered. YouTube goes and gets the views. People go from your website to YouTube. So it's a win-win for YouTube, win-win for you in a way. But again, you do risk getting it blocked. This is now totally different for radio stations, especially online ones. Because I had a couple people ask me, why don't I just get an online radio license? That's fine for the music playing, but the minute you put the video to it, totally disqualifies it. The synchronization license and the broadcasting license are definitely where you have to have for video, and it is so. It's funny because when I talked to BMI, they told me one thing originally, and then CSAC told me totally opposite story than BMI. And then ASCAP originally, the first person I talked to, told me a different story from both of them. And then I contacted BMI again, and I got a gentleman who used to be a copyright attorney before he worked for BMI, and he told me that he sent me over a bunch of files and a bunch of forms to look at, and he pretty much broke it down piece by piece, because we are in a gray area with the whole live streaming. Back then, when they first came out with copyright laws, unless you're a TV station, no one thought about doing it. But with Facebook adding live, YouTube adding live, Instagram live, it took a whole different aspect to the next level. So they were in uncharted water, so to say. So they had to adjust quickly. That's why originally a lot of stuff did get banned. Darren asking again, do you know if the same thing would happen if someone used something like Zoom, Google Hangouts, or another web conference program? Yes, it will. Zoom, the Google Hangouts, or one of them might not block you, but the minute you broadcast it to Facebook, there you go. Facebook is going to recognize the minute you put music in. It might take them a little longer. You might get lucky and they not, but eventually, yes. I do know people who put Zoom ones up already that got busted once they put their music on. Jesse, I tried changing pitches, not effective. However, I put some white noises or applauding sounds. The videos won't get blocked. This is only for upload, not live. Correct. The upload, I've noticed the same thing, Jesse. A lot of people ask when I do my live events, a lot of people have said, well, we don't like the background noise. We don't like the fact that you can hear the DJ. We don't like the fact that you can hear the crowd reacting. We just want to hear the music. Well, guess what? You can... That's what makes the event, first of all. And two, leaving that in there does help alleviate some of the sound of the music. So it does take longer. That's why your live feeds can stay up longer. But again, it doesn't guarantee it. Melissa, a channel I watch has 3 million subscribers, but he quit singing in his truck because of the music being blocked on his site. Exactly. He is definitely monetized and has tons of ads now, but still, yes, there's still that chance. There is still that chance, even with getting monetized. A lot depends on the songs. A lot depends on what he's doing and getting blocked doing. You're absolutely right. There is still a chance that he's going to get blocked. There's still a chance that even once you monetize, you get blocked. I still, like I said, have some videos that get blocked, some in the country, some in not. It has been less, I've noticed, on YouTube, especially since I've monetized the channel. And that's mainly because I can run the ads underneath along that bar. That's why you see that bar pop up on our YouTube channel, just like everybody else's YouTube channel. It does alleviate some of it. Not all. It's not a perfect system because, again, YouTube owns it. And right now, YouTube is free and so is Facebook. A lot of people have said eventually YouTube or Facebook are going to charge. I don't see that happening. anytime soon, especially now, because they definitely want it. Kristen, I've spoken to BMI and asked FCC, do you think they will make an affordable option for streaming dance events in similar situations? I sure hope so. Like you, I am sure hope so. Or will we have to roll the cost into dance event tickets? That's a hard one because every event director, except for a handful that I've talked to, have all said it's not a big deal for them. If they don't have live, they don't have live. Um, I'm sure that probably is a little different in the swing world, but actually, I did Trilogy, I did River City, Swing Orlando. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Because the other thing, like I know you know, Kristen, is Wi-Fi and internet connection is big. So if some hotels charge upwards of $350 to $500 per connection per day. So without, and hardline is even worse in a lot of cases, especially among hotels that I've been to. So I hope, to answer your question a little bit better, Christian, I would really hope they'd get a little bit easier at it. You would assume by now that they would have, but I haven't seen it going down any, especially considering it's based off views, and that's where the big thing comes in. I'm pretty sure a lot of events would be paying more money for their music license if they reported the numbers every year, and just, or someone from BMI, CSAC, or Fast Dance came every year and actually tracked how many people they actually played to. Same thing with local classes. You get a license for a local class. Oh, I have no more than 20 people, and then all of a sudden you start running months and months of 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Just think how you're only paying for 20. Imagine what you'd be paying if you had that extra 30. It's the same thing with the viewing hours. If you only pay and say, oh, I only get about 300 people that watch it, guess what? You're billed then, and then all of a sudden you start running 1,500, 1,600, 2,000. They're going to want that money. It's just, it's common sense. They're going to want that money. If you're getting that many more viewers, they're going to want the artist to make that much more money. And the sad thing is, it really does, a good chunk of it doesn't go to the artist. A good chunk of it goes to the record label, and the record label then divvies it up. It's about last time I looked, it was about 88% of the fee, the license you pay, goes to the record labels. 12% roughly stays for the actual license of it. So if you pay $100 for the license, only $12 is for the license. The other $88 is going to the record labels to pay the artist who put in the time to get the work. It's no different. Can you imagine what the fines would be? Because I know the fines for BMI, CSAC, or ASCAP showed up and listened to your music. If you're playing at a dance event, it's upwards of $5 to $10 grand a song they listen to. But if they sit in the back and you don't have your license, and they can stay there as long as they want. It's the same thing. The only reason I ever left Facebook was the fact that we were getting blocked. It did no good for me to continue to try to broadcast on Facebook, to try to get it out to the people who wanted to watch the events, because they'd be up for 20 minutes and getting blocked. Have our hits taken a whack? Yeah. We went from averaging anywhere between 500 and 1,000 people on at one time, to upwards of 250 to 400,000 views over a 3-day weekend for one video, to we're lucky if we get 30, 40, 50 people on YouTube for a dance event show or a night dancing. It's just because it's not as quick, and it will eventually change once people, the more you like something, the more it's easier to get. That's why we always are asking people to subscribe and click the bell. That way you get notified, just like on Facebook. YouTube has the same functions as Facebook does. Facebook, if you hit like and follow, you get notified whether or not that person does something. It does benefit to do both, not just one or the other. So every time I go live, everybody who likes and follows me gets a notification, especially if they have their notifications turned on Facebook. Same thing happens on YouTube. Every one of my YouTube subscribers, if they have that little bell clicked for notifications, their YouTube app goes off on their phone every time I go live. Same concept. YouTube and Facebook are a lot alike on that aspect. They are very good at notifying people when they have something new. So the more that like something, it's just like on Facebook. The more you like the YouTube, it's going to be better. So it's, again, I wish there was a different way to guarantee it. I know lots of my DJ friends who are going to chime in, who have been doing open sets on Facebook, get about anywhere between 30 and 40 minutes and it gets blocked. And it all depends on the music. I know a buddy of mine who I have on my show on Monday, Larry Swag, the minute he played Garth Brooks the other night, bam, done. See ya. And there's really nothing you can do about that. Garth doesn't even sell his music on Apple iTunes. You get it at Walmart. So that's about it. Unfortunately, there's no way around that. You're just going to play the Russian roulette every time you play the song, whether or not you're going to get blocked, guys. I wish there was a better way for it. Unfortunately, there's not. Facebook is... They have the right, unfortunately. But, again, I know a lot of you think... Oh, and another thing that I wanted to bring up. That everybody who uses the whole fair use line... You don't qualify for fair use. Just because it's instructional does not mean it qualifies for fair use. It could help, sure, but it's not. That's not why. Even if, and I've had people talk that they have, oh, I have my license. No, you have a license to play for your location. Again, you don't have that right to broadcast it. And even if you did, Facebook and YouTube can take you down in a matter of moments because it's their site. That's like if someone tried to hack into my site and say, oh, I want to post my videos here, here, and here. And you try to say that you guys don't have the right, that I don't have the right to take you down. Well, it's my site. I can do whatever I want. I own it. I pay for it. You do not. Same concept. Totally same concept there. If you don't like it, I suggest getting your own website and posting your videos there and trying to get everybody to come to your channel there. But if you're going to do that, I would definitely make sure you have the proper licensing in place because the fines can be outrageous. That is for sure. And again, if you want to try, DJs out there, if you want to try doing an online station, I know like a lot of my line dance DJs have done Mixer and stuff like that. Mixer covers the licensing for their set. Granted, no one can see you in person. You can have the picture. Yeah, Regina, the fair use is not magic words, but it's no harm to add them. Right, but it's not. It doesn't do it any good, because then everyone gets the thing. Oh well, they're only using it for fair use. That's just like on my videos. On some of the ones I put music on, I do not own there's no copyright infringement intended. It could help, it could not. Again, you're right. It doesn't hurt if you really want to use it, but I just don't want people to get into the false pretense that because they think they're under fair use that they actually are. Because fair use, if you notice, you could be walking down the street, record yourself talking, and if you walk past a restaurant that has music playing in the background, coming out of their store, you can get blocked. Did you intend for that? No. But unfortunately, that music is in your video. And you're putting out your video and you're taking ownership of your video of whether or not you own everything in there or you had the right to record that. And unfortunately, you didn't have the right to record that because it was in their restaurant and they pay for the license. And yes, Luke, it is very time consuming to manage. I go through a lot of videos a day and it is very time consuming to manage what you can and can't post. If you notice on my counter for going in the show, I use a website called Epidemic Sound where I can buy music like that is allowed on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And some of it has lyrics, some of it don't. Everything I've used so far doesn't have lyrics except for I think I've used one with lyrics for another project, but they aren't going to block it because they already agreed that that music has the right to be played on YouTube and Facebook. I do see whatever happens on Facebook happening on Instagram, because one being connected to the other. So whoever does make the move first on wanting to lighten up on it, I don't see the other one. I see the other one falling into place, but I think it's going to be YouTube before Facebook and Instagram, to be honest. In my opinion, that's my own opinion, only from what I've seen from personal experience. YouTube is only getting worse. They It's funny because I was at an event in January and I put 2 cameras up and I went live on YouTube on one camera, Facebook on the other camera, and to see which one got blocked first. And every time I did it, it was Facebook, like clockwork. Facebook would go down, Facebook would go down, Facebook would go down, and then YouTube would stay up. And it's just usually how it's been the last couple years, ever since we made the switch personally to go from broadcasting on YouTube instead of Facebook. Now, we do the Honky Tonk Highway now, and that doesn't have any licensed music on it, so I'm doing that. I'm broadcasting that on Facebook like crazy, because again, they're not going to block it because there's nothing for them to block. There's no copyrighted music. The music that is played at the beginning, I do have paid for, and Epidemic Sound has a contract with YouTube and Facebook, so when they hear those songs, they know not to block them. And the rest of it, there's no music being played. So there's no teaching involved in it. There's no dancing involved in it. So it's a way I can share it to both avenues, and it doesn't matter. I made sure it was covered on both sounds. Yes, Philip, Epidemic Sound works well. I have yet to have a problem with that one. Again, it's going to be harder for line dancing, unless you can find an exact song you can put up for that you got from Epidemic Sound for the line dance you're teaching. I know that's hard nowadays where line dances are... You find some that can be used on multiple songs, more like they're to a certain song with the restarts and tags. But for couples dancing, Epidemic Sound could work great. They have different beats and different stuff, so you can match them pretty well with the tempos. You can search by tempo, genre. I love using them. Ginger's asked, has anyone made any effort to reach out to music licensing entities and or Facebook to allow a way to pay for the licensing and make it legal to do what we do? If you actually can get Facebook on the phone, good luck. You're not going to get Facebook on the phone. Facebook has made it very apparent that they will not communicate for that aspect. If you can get Facebook on the phone, be my guest. But again, you're going to want the licensing that you think you have, you're more likely you're not going to get it. If you want to pay the thousands and thousands of dollars for a broadcasting license, that's fine and dandy. Because even so, the licensing that you have currently does not allow for video. And that's the key. The licensing you have to teach in a building is not for video or for live streaming. And that's the major key first. If you want to pay the thousands among thousands of dollars because you're going to get charged per view, and it's never going to be the same fee twice. Your first 6 months is going to be that nice basic, whatever they charge. I think I did the rough estimate. It's about $6,000 between the three, give or take what time of year and what their minimum fee is. But after that, you could be paying $15-20 grand for 6 months. Yeah, that's what it takes. Unfortunately, it does take a broadcasting or a synchronization license, and it's based off your views and your viewing hours. So when you do it, you have to put and submit your counts to it. I'd pay a subscription for sure to let them piggyback. Yeah, but it doesn't get all the music. If you notice on Epidemic Sound, they don't have like that same thing. I know how it works for them. Right? They have to have. It's the same way it works for radio. They're paid by hours. It's the same way when it comes to videos and the music in the videos. You have to pay by viewing hours. I've looked at online radio stations, and that license is the same. You pay by the amount of hours it takes. But they don't have to. That's the thing. Ginger just said, but problem would be getting Facebook to know you had a license. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter if they know or not. They can take you down for whatever they want. They can block you even if you have a license. You can spend the $15,000 to get a license. Facebook can still block you because Facebook owns Facebook. Unfortunately, unless you put that on your own page, that is the only way to guarantee it, and that is what BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, and a copyright attorney all said. Unfortunately, with them owning Facebook, YouTube owning YouTube, Instagram, they own that. They can take you down for whatever. You could put a video up right now of just you and your husband talking, and unfortunately, if they felt like they didn't like it, they could take it down, and they don't have to tell you anything. I got my page blocked a couple years ago. My personal page, when I was broadcasting an event, I got home from the event and they took down my personal page um, for the same issue. They said I violated someone's personal rights, and I lost my entire personal page. Luckily, our Seven Arrow page wasn't affected at the time because we had other managers and admins on that. But they took down my entire personal page. They would not tell me who did it. They would not tell me who reported me. They wouldn't tell me exactly, and they would not tell me, and they would not give me anything back. I lost all my pictures, all my posts. I lost every video. Luckily, we had most of the photos of my son that I wanted offline. But yeah, they don't have to tell you. Britt, I haven't had problems getting shut down while live yet. Exactly. Most times my videos get muted after the fact when reposted. Do you think the more you do this stuff, your account gets flagged and you get blocked more often, or have I just been lucky? I think it's a little bit of both. I've been told the same thing by a couple people that they think the algorithms are flagging me. And they have flagged me. If that's the case, then yeah, because I did used to post a lot on Facebook. So yeah, it could be. A lot of it actually depends on the music. The more popular the song, the more easily you're probably going to get busted. That's what I at least noticed. Popularity of the song and certain record labels. Sony does crack down a lot. That I do know. Adele. Who else was it? Taylor Swift. Artists like that, Bruno Mars, they get blocked pretty easily. I still get videos released every once or twice a week. I still have Sony has released this video. Sony has released this video. It's still funny because the video will be from 3 years ago that they released their blockage claim on this video. You can submit I do know on Facebook, once they do block it, you'll get a notification and you can click through and say you want to dispute it. The question is how long it takes to dispute it and how long before they give you your video back. It could be a day, it could be 2 days, it could be 2 years. That I do know. So, do you have to have a license with Epidemic tied to your channel? Yes. So when you sign up for Epidemic Sound, it goes through and it has you. It tells you. It has you select what YouTube channel and what you're signing up for. It asks you to connect your YouTube and Facebook to it. That way they know. But they also, the music pretty much is on it. Dean Hooks, how much does a basic teaching license cost, and would you need to buy a license from all three organizations? A basic teaching license varies. They usually ask about how many people you're teaching to, the size of the location. Yes, you have to buy from all three unless you use an association like the National Fast Dance Association, who does blanket coverages for all three. But they will also ask you like how many people you're teaching to and stuff like that, because the amount of money you pay is based on the amount it's going out to. So it's the same concept for a broadcasting license, just in a smaller scale, because obviously you're not reaching as many people. So that was the big thing with why you need a broadcasting license. You're paying for a license that, say, even if it's 150 people that you're paying, that you say you're going to get in your class for your teaching license. You put a video up on Facebook, you can have 150 people in under a minute watching you or watching that video. They're going to want that money. That's the big key on that one, and that's why they do it. They see these videos that are having 3 million, 4 million, 5 million views, and they want that money. It's just like every time you turn on a radio station. Every time you play a radio station, that radio station is paying for that. It's incurred in their cost. That's why you see so many ads on radio stations. That is exactly why, because they need to pay for that airtime. They need to pay for being able to play those music. That's exactly why it is. Same thing with online radio stations. You see ads. Same thing on Facebook. If you scroll down every 4 or 5 posts on Facebook, you see an ad. Well, how do you think Mark Zuckerberg is paying for Facebook to be up, and the bandwidth for everybody to go live, and the bandwidth for everybody to be on at the same time? If he doesn't have people paying to have ads on there and to boost posts, he's not making any money. He's broke. He's not going to be able to afford to have that. And granted, Mark Zuckerberg has tons of money, and that's why, because he has tons of people paying for advertisements, and that's what keeps that afloat. And yeah, Ginger just said, yes, radio licenses are a huge cost. Exactly, and that's because the more people that listen, the more it costs. It's the same concept with video. No different. And unfortunately, I wish and I hope it gets cheaper. But that's why we keep it on YouTube and Facebook. Definitely YouTube now for when we play the music. We've talked about putting it on our own website. It's just not cost effective, and that's the key. We lost a lot of viewers when we switched from Facebook to YouTube. Nowhere near the same amount of people are watching. Not even probably 10%. We used to average very high numbers, and so just taking off another aspect and putting it on a website where it's going to be, that's just somewhere else for someone to go. It's just not cost effective. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. You can take the risk and keep trying to post them, but they are probably going to continue to get blocked. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't think they're going to lean up anytime soon, especially everyone's going live right now. No one else has anything to do because we're locked up. We're stuck inside. Everyone's going live. We have 40 line dance classes a day. We have DJs going live every day. We have people posting videos with them doing crazy stuff. I don't see it getting any easier. If anything, they're going to up and up and up the algorithms. And you might get caught, you might not. It's going to be a crapshoot. It all depends on how often that algorithm gets seen, how much your page is seen, how often it's going to be. That's pretty much what it is. That's why I don't put anything up with music on Facebook unless it's from a YouTube link, because the YouTube link isn't going to get taken down. That's pretty much what it is. I hate to do the test. Yeah, I can only imagine if they try to sit there and see how much money views make, because I think the one thing I do think, if they do go to this where they allow it, I'm scared to see how they're going to enforce it. If they do go to where if you buy a broadcasting license, they're going to allow it on Facebook, allow it on YouTube, and you won't get blocked. But can you imagine the cost? Because then they track all your views on YouTube, all your views on Facebook, all the views on your website. That's going to get costly. That's the kicker. And I think that's going to be the kicker for that, especially if you have a music license. If people they're able to track your YouTube views, your Facebook views, and stuff like that. That's just going to... that's 3 places you got your video at now that they're going to be able to track. And I think that's the only way they're going to do it. Facebook's going to want their cut. YouTube's going to want their cut. That's a no-brainer. Instagram's going to want their cut, which in turn goes back to Facebook. So they're all going to want their cut of the broadcasting license, and that's why I think it doesn't matter. Jamie Marshall. Hi, Miss Jamie. I purchased through ntadance.com membership and music license. It's a little above $300 per year. Year goes from January to December. Yeah, that's for your events, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, Jamie? And you teaching? Let's see if she answers that. I believe that's what it is for that, but that's for your location. So it's for where you actually teach at. So if it's at an event, it's at your class, stuff like that. It doesn't count for videos. But that is one way to get licensed for you to be able to at least teach to yourself, and you can record yourself. You just can't broadcast it. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today for this little special look of it. I hope some of y'all got some really good knowledge and some really good information. If you have any questions, anything that you want to ask, feel free to message me. My information at the bottom at 7 Arrow Media. You can contact me on Instagram, here on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook if you need to at Kelly Travis. I'll gladly answer any questions. I tried as best as I can to share everything that I know, because I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and I've been streaming dance events for over 6 years. That's for sure. So I'm hoping this helped a little bit. Don't forget, like and follow our pages, please. That does help. Also, 5 o'clock today, I have Darren and Amy on. For those who have not checked out my talk show, The Honky Tonk Highway, come back at 5. We're going to be live with Amy and Darren Bailey to talk some knowledge. Real quick, Jamie says, teaching classes depends on number of students. Exactly. You have to get different licensing for events. So that's what I thought it was. Just for clarifying that for anybody who needed that license that Jamie shared in the bottom. That's for your teaching your local classes. You then would need one for your events as well. So, like I said, follow, please hit us up. If you need any questions, feel free to contact me. Until 5 o'clock, guys. Have fun.